She's fighting hard. She's going to do the double. She's going to do what nobody has ever done. 5 and 10 of the Commonwealth Games. She is a true champion.
Has any woman in the history of the Commonwealth Games ever won both the 10,000 meters and the 5,000 meters at the same games? The answer, until this week, was no. Nobody had ever done it. And here's another question. What are the odds that when history finally gets made, it happens with a training partner right on your heels, pushing you every single step of the way? In the fading evening light at Scotstoun Stadium in Glasgow, 2 fluorescent yellow figures came around the final bend of the women's 5,000-meter final, and everyone else in the field was left behind. What happened in the next 200 meters wasn't just a gold medal, it was history. And it came with a twist nobody saw coming an all-Australian gold and silver finish. The first of its kind on a Commonwealth Games track in over 50 years. Stick around, because this story has everything a childhood prodigy who almost lost her career before it started, a training partner turned fierce rival turned proud teammate, and a finish line moment so emotional that even the athletes themselves could barely process what had just happened. Before we dive in, let's be clear about who we're talking about, because these are not new names in Australian athletics, these are 2 of the biggest stars the sport has produced in years. Rose Davies, 26 years old, born in New Lambton Heights, New South Wales, is the reigning Australian record holder in the 5,000 meters, with a personal best of 14 minutes. 40.83 seconds. She's not just fast, she is, on paper, one of the best distance runners Australia has ever produced. But her path here was anything but smooth, and we'll get into that. Then there's Jessica Hull, 29 years old, arguably the most decorated Australian middle distance runner of her generation. An Olympic silver medalist in the 1,500 meters at the Paris Games, a World Championship bronze medalist, and the 5th fastest woman in history over that distance. Hull has spent most of her career dominating the shorter middle distance events. This year, she made a deliberate decision to stretch herself into the longer, more grueling 5,000 meters, with an eye on Brisbane in the year 2032. So when these 2 lined up together in Glasgow, this wasn't a case of one clear favorite and a supporting cast. This was 2 of Australia's greatest ever runners, training partners from the very same track in Newcastle, going head-to-head for a Commonwealth gold medal. And Davies had already banked the 10,000-meter title on the opening night of competition. If she could win this one too, she would become the first woman in Commonwealth Games history to complete the 10,000 and 5,000-meter double. Now let's take you into the race itself. The final of the women's 5,000 meters was always going to be a tactical battle. And for most of the race, it played out exactly that way. The home crowd had their own hero to cheer for Scotland's Megan Keith, who took the race by the throat with roughly a mile still to run, dragging the field along at a brutal pace, hoping to burn off the competition before the final sprint. Behind Keith, the field began to shred apart. Kenya's Caroline Nyaga, chasing what would have been a 6th consecutive Kenyan gold in this event, could not go with the pace. Uganda's Esther Chebet and England's Hannah Nuttall also began to fall away. But 2 athletes in fluorescent yellow never let go. Rose Davies and Jessica Hull sat right on Keith's shoulder, patient, controlled, waiting then, with 200 meters remaining. Davies made her move. She surged past Megan Keith and took control of the race. This was the moment. If she could hold this off, she would make history. But she wasn't alone out there. A single stride behind her the entire time was Jessica Hull. Davies later admitted she knew exactly what was coming. She said that having Hull on her shoulder with 100 meters to go was frightening, and that she basically blacked out and just focused on running as hard as she possibly could. With 150 meters remaining, Hull was still right there, still a threat, and Davies knew she had to give absolutely everything she had left. There was extra weight to this moment for both of them. Just 12 days earlier, at the London Diamond League meet, the roles had been reversed. Hull had outkicked Davies in the final lap of a 3,000-meter race, leaving Davies in second place. That memory was fresh in both their minds as they came down the home straight in Glasgow. With 70 meters to go, Hull dragged herself level with Davies. For a moment, the gold medal genuinely looked like it could go either way. but Davies found another gear. In the final 30 meters, she pulled away and took control of the race for good, crossing the line first in a time of 14 minutes, 44.53 seconds. Hull crossed just behind her in 14 minutes, 45.01 seconds, claiming the silver. Scotland's Megan Keith, the athlete who had set the pace for most of the race, held on for bronze in 14 minutes, 49.39 seconds. Davies had done it. She became the first woman in Commonwealth Games history to win both the 10,000 meters and the 5,000 meters at the same games. And she'd done it with her own training partner, finishing right behind her for silver, the first Australian 1-2 finish on a Commonwealth Games track since 1974, when Raylene Boyle beat Denise Robertson in the 200 meters. Now, to really appreciate what happened in Glasgow, you need to understand where Rose Davies came from. She wasn't an overnight sensation. As a young athlete, she was considered Australia's best in her age group by the age of 14, a genuine prodigy. But her development wasn't a straight line to the top. She battled hip inflammation issues throughout her teenage years, running only part-time, and she went 5 full years without setting a new personal best. It would have been easy for her career to quietly fade away at that point. Instead, as an adult, with a body that finally cooperated, she rediscovered her love for the sport, working patiently with coach Scott Westcott, a partnership that has now spanned roughly a decade. After the race, Davies said it was to Westcott, watching from home, that her mind immediately turned. She said he had worked so hard with her over all those years, and that she was overjoyed he could finally celebrate a moment like this one with her. For Jessica Hull, this race represented something different, a step into unfamiliar territory. She had already competed earlier in the same day in a heat for her preferred event, the mile. Stepping into a full 5,000-meter championship final on tired legs against a stacked international field was a completely different kind of challenge. She admitted afterward that closing out a 5,000-meter race is a different beast entirely, and that she found herself tactically inexperienced out on the track. She said she kept looking into the crowd for her father and coach, Simon Hull, trying to figure out whether to hold position or push forward. In the end, with 3 laps remaining, she made the decision to simply trust her training partner. She said that once Davies made her move, she thought to herself that Davies knew exactly what she was doing, so the best strategy was simply to follow her lead. It raises an interesting question, though. Do rivalries like this, where your toughest competitor is also your closest training partner, actually make athletes better? Or does racing someone you're that close to make it harder to give everything you have? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed reliving this incredible moment in Australian and Commonwealth Games history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this one, straight from the world of athletics.